folks, welcome back to another video. You join me sat next to a load of brambles on a route called Bramble Buttress at Craig-y-Gesile. This is at Traumatic it is, but it's a little bit back from Borkenmark and Pantiv and the usual sort of really busy spots. It's really flipping nice though. You can see today the weather's lush, it's like nice and sunny. There's a few clouds around, so I've got the jacket on because it does get shady every now and then. The boy's just down there having a little fidget. He's doing his job of guarding the bags from what, who knows, but it's nice to give him something to do. Cam's just done the first pitch that goes up just behind me. I'll put a bit of footage on that. Should have brought the drone really because it's so flipping nice, but there are a few houses around, so maybe it's a bit antisocial, so maybe it's a good thing. I'm going to take this opportunity to chat about the route a little bit because it's just it's well worth seeking out if you're ever over this way. Bank holiday weekend, there's no one else here, quieter than the other sort of busy spots. I haven't been around there, I bet it's rammed today. But yeah, I'm going to do a review of the harness I've been wearing for a while now, which is the Blue Ice Addax. I've worn it for all sorts now, from cragging stuff like this through to you know, mountain days, doing sort of scrambling mountaineering kind of stuff, and a bit of sport with it as well. So I feel like I've given it a good test. I quite like it, so I'm going to keep wearing it and keep using it. I'll talk my way up the route, there's normal kind of stuff, and then when I get to the top I'll have a bit of a chat about the harness specifically. So yep, you'll join me on a belay or something, waffling along, filming Cam or something or other. I've just stopped mid-pitch to have a quick chat to the camera. It's such a cool position here. Like I say, the views are flipping absolutely spectacular, especially on a day like today. It's proper like bank holiday weather, but it's so nice not to have anyone around. The bit down there, I think you're supposed to step around that sort of pinnacle thing, but it's quite cool going over the top of it. And then I've just come up, sort of, I don't know, kind of up a groove and then stepped into this side. Gears kind of, probably the traditional side of stuff, it's all nuts and slings over stuff, but I've carried 3 cams on my rack as sort of luxury items, so I just plugged a red one into there. 1956 or something, this was first climbs, they wouldn't have had cams, but you know, I have, so I've placed one. I'm going to go a little bit higher to get to a blocky belay, so I'm doing this one in 3 pitches, which I think is as the guidebook describes, but it's a lovely route. It's like properly steady, but it's just a real nice spot. It's really enjoyable. You can see the rope disappearing all the way down there. Quite a long pitch the way we've done it. It almost looks like alpine style climbing in the brambles coming up that kind of a ret. Some really nice climbing on it, and then there's some proper just walking along a path kind of stuff to finish off with as well. But yeah, it's a nice bit of climbing. It's proper traditional stuff though. Up at the top here, 2-point beaver, absolute sinkers, down to standard sort of master point thing, guide mode. You'll notice the carabiners are not gravity loaded, because I kind of did my usual clip and flip, and then when I actually went to sort of lean back and stuff, as things do often, they sort of spun round. So I've rotated the carabiners round to keep the gates away from the rock. I'm here to keep an eye on it, so I'm just not really that worried about gravity loading at all. I'd much rather the gates are away from the rock, and I've ticked that box, so that's the thought process behind that. Look at that view though, it's flipping amazing, isn't it? It's a really cracking spot. If you get the chance to come here, as I said before, make sure you do. Such a good route that one. It's just a little bit of a gem, that one. Quality Diff, I'd say 3 pitches, great rock, the odd bit of loose bit, same as anywhere really though. Good gear, and it tops out to this, you know, just beautiful scene looking back over Snowdonia one way, out to the sea the other way. Evening like tonight is absolutely stunning. Well worth getting on. Seek it out if you can. I said I'd do a little review of the Blue Ice harness that I've been wearing. I say I've worn it for quite a while now, and I'm really enjoying it. So I've worn it for sports stuff, for sort of proper mountain type route stuff, and for general cragging as well. I'm just taking it off as we speak, so I've just legged it down to get in the sun. The bottom of the route is in the shade, so I wanted to just do it in the sun to get some better light and the last of the warmth as well. I've left the kit on that I sort of took out the last pitch at Cam led, just to show kind of the gear loops on it. They're semi-stiffened. They've got sort of plastic inside them, and they're an okay size. You know, they're not. I'd call them full size. So my Addax one, for example, which is my sort of go-to harness for a while, they're properly stiffened gear loops. And although they're probably a very similar size because they're stiffened, they sort of feel like they're bigger, if that makes sense. But they absolutely take a proper rack of kit on for sure. So you end up with 2 gear loops on each side, and then the small kind of 5th one, if you like, which I just kind of clip my Prussics to normally onto there, so they're kind of out of the way. Done other videos on why I clip things, where I clip them, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just stripping it off for a moment as I speak, just to show you the few features. The main one though is the weight. It's for my size, which is a medium. It comes in a fraction under 150 grams, which is mega light. So sport climbing, let's sort of go for that one first. It is actually far more comfy than you would expect. It's pretty skinny, you know. It is meant to be lightweight. That's the kind of name of the game. And you don't tend to need that unless you're trying something really hard where every gram matters on sport stuff. But certainly not at the grades I'm at. But for such a light, skinny harness, it's far more comfortable than I expected. The thing with it is because everything's really thin, like the belay loop and these little tie-in points. So for me, it probably just wouldn't stand up to a load of red pointing abuse, which is what I do mostly when I'm sport climbing. So it wouldn't be my go-to harness for sport climbing. Something that's a bit more comfy. Just my Addax one's got a lovely wide sort of hip belt and leg bits. And actually they last a really long time, those ones. So I wouldn't use it for that personally, although it would be perfectly fine for it. It just wouldn't last as long as I would probably expect. I do hang around a lot when I'm sport climbing as well. But let's go the other end of the stuff, the mountaineering kind of stuff, where you're probably, it's in the rucksack for quite some time. It's a flipping ideal for that, where you might have to carry it up to the route, and then you might carry it around for half the day when you take it off to sort of tick some summits at the end of it. And it all fits into this little bag, the little blue ice bag, quite comfortably as well. So it sort of goes in your rucksack quite neatly and everything like that. So where every gram matters, it's really good. So general cragging, would I use it for that? Well, I have been actually, yeah, because I still value the lightweightness of it. So for general cragging, where I'm not expecting to fall off, or at least not fall off a lot, I'm not going to really hammer these tie-in points and stuff like that. Like I say, it takes a full rack pretty easily, to be honest. There's other bits like this where you're weight saving that are going to wear out, and obviously they're not load bearing, but you could replace that, but they're the things that are going to go in the little tabs like that. So all in all, I've been really happy with it, and it's going to be my go-to harness for this year at least, for the mountain stuff for sure. Like I say, I won't really take it sport climbing or other stuff that is kind of more focused for that. General cragging, yeah, I will pick this up sometimes. Other times I'll pick up other harnesses. I'm lucky enough to have a choice of a few. But for its little niche especially, it's great. If you could only afford one harness, would I suggest this? It depends what your focus is really. If it's one harness and your focus is mountaineering style stuff, and you don't do much like sport or anything like that, then yeah, I'd absolutely recommend it. If your focus was sport and you do the occasional bit of mountaineering kind of stuff, if that makes sense, then no, I'd probably pick something else that's a bit fatter, potentially a bit more comfy when you're hanging in it for ages and ages and ages, and that'll take a bit more abuse at these kind of tie-in points. So I hope it's been an interesting video, a bit of climbing. Sorry, there's no drone footage or anyone else hanging out at the crag to take nice shots like there wasn't that dream one. Just a bit of a spur of the moment thing, this thing. And I hope it's been a bit of useful chat about the Blue Ice Addax that is available for £96 from outside. And as I say, weighs just under 150 grams for the size I wear. So I really like it. As I say every time, thanks very much for watching, and do click the like button, smash the subscribe button. We've got over 10,000 now, which is flipping amazing. Find us on Insta, find us on Facebook, that's all massively appreciated. Once again, thanks very much for watching. More videos coming up very soon.